Hey, what's up everybody? This is Alex from Freedom Trading, and in this video today we're going to be taking a look at the results of my simulator, which all the recaps are posted in YouTube. So if you want exact details of how that went, you can take a look at those. If you want the summary, here it comes. So before I get into detailing some of the reasons why this is the case, I'm going to go ahead and give you the answer right away as to whether or not I believe this simulator and its results are enough to convince me that I'm ready to go back live. And the answer is no. After a week of studying my data, I've decided that this is insufficient evidence that I'm prepared to do what it is I'm trying to do. Now, there are a lot of goals associated with this account that I had coming in, and I'm not going to spend pretty much any time detailing each and every one of those. What I will say instead is that the ultimate purpose of this account was to determine whether or not I'm capable of taking the amount of money that I have now, plus perhaps a few thousand, and never looking back. I never ever want to put more money into the market and risk going red lifetime. I want to take my profit right now and I want to turn it into a career. And so this simulator for me was to determine whether or not I have the skills to do that. Now, even though there are quite a few statistical reasons why I started leaning towards thinking, no, I'm not ready, the ultimate thing that made it certified we're not going live yet is the fact that I got thrown off pretty severely only a few weeks ago, which I haven't mentioned anywhere else. And I got thrown off by the commission structure of CMEG, which is the broker that I intend to use once I bring my live account back into business. So the commission structure that I was using for this simulator was based precisely off SureTrader, which is now a defunct broker. But the point is that this commission structure is exactly what caused me so much trouble in the live account, which is halted right now, on which this simulator is based. And so those commissions were minimum $1.95 per ticket. And then past the minimum, it's a half penny per share up to a maximum of $50 per ticket. And coming into this simulator, I thought, wow, those are the highest in the business. And I even mentioned it in a few recaps. I'm using the worst commission structure in the business for an offshore broker. And that turned out not to be the case. I had studied CMEG very early in 2019 when I started thinking about leaving SureTrader. And it seems to me, like my memory's a bit hazy on this, but it seems to me that they were less than half than what I was dealing with SureTrader. And as it turns out, I learned a few weeks ago that that isn't the case, that they're in fact quite a bit higher than what I was used to with SureTrader. So the minimum with CMEG is $3.95 per ticket. And then above that, it's 0.7 cents per share once you've surpassed the minimum. And unfortunately, I realized this too late in this simulator. If I had discovered this in September, I just would have changed the commission structure that I was using and I would have gone forward with that. And then maybe my data would have supported the idea that I'm ready to go live. But now, because I've realized that what I've been using in the simulator is in fact easier than what I'll have to use when I go back live, that means that all of these results can be taken seriously, because commissions and the impact of commissions, man, that's the killer in a small account. And so I have to absolutely be able to overcome these. And so for me, it doesn't matter. Even if this account had, closed up 15,000 or whatever, it wouldn't matter. I would still have to redo this with a more aggressive commission structure based on CMEG. But now that I've covered that one piece of critical information, I'll get into the actual results and talk about some of the things that I'm happy with and not happy with. Because I do believe that even if the commission structure wasn't different and I would have actually been dealing with cheaper commissions when I go live, I do believe that this is insufficient data anyway. And I think that's probably going to have a lot of educational value to somebody who's learning and is maybe not at the stage of their education that I am. Because you might be wondering, well, dude, you killed it. Like, why are you not happy with these results? I'm up like 130 something percent in 3 months. And altogether, my results are pretty strong. I've never had 2 red days in a row. I've got pretty decent consistency on the daily. And this is all with a trade accuracy of less than 63%. And that might seem strong to a lot of people. But to me, my results in this simulator are still inadequate to at least some degree. And so let's get into why that is exactly. So one of the things that I'm really paying a lot of attention to here on these results is the shift in market momentum. So one of the goals coming into this simulator for me, I wanted to see myself be able to produce a consistent green result over a long period of time when the market was not hot. And this day that I have highlighted right here, day number 9 on October 11th, that was the day where SES started running. That was a major pivot in the momentum in the market. And after that time, we started seeing a lot of crazy multi-halt runners and a lot of ideal market conditions. And you can see that, before that date, I was in the red on this account, and it was only after that date that I was able to bring it out of the red and into the green. And even, with these amazing runners that we had, I feel like I really undercapitalized a lot. And I've mentioned that several times in my recaps that I'm not super happy with the fact that I'm undercapitalizing on these home run days. I mean, this period of 4 days right here, this was an amazing period. This was the time of SES and BIMI when we had them just ripping all the time. And I could not capture a significant amount of return on those. And so that's one of the things that I don't like about my results. And one thing I do want to talk about, which is connected to how hot the market was, is my average net ROE per day, which is 3.32%, which is a lifetime record for me over a period of this size or less. In my first live account, my average net ROE per day was just under 3%, and now it's higher. And I mean, 3% a day, you give me any amount of money, and if I'm making 3% a day, I'm going to be stinking rich within a short period of time. So I'm very happy about the fact that I made this result. But again, coming back to that connected point of how hot the market is, these big results down here, these were largely due to having the opportunities which would not be present most times in the year. So I think that perhaps, even though it's not necessarily a mistake, I do think it's worth noting that this simulator took place within some of the hottest moments of the year. And so that's something that I have to be super conscious of when I'm judging whether or not these results are valid. Now, another important thing that I want to discuss about my analysis of these results is the fact that I did a lot of experimentation throughout this account. Now, for those of you who are members of the Velocity Trading chat room on YouTube, you will know that I've been pretty elite when it comes to predicting big runners and multi-halt, parabolic moves in the middle kind of price range, in between like $20 and $50. My accuracy in seeing runners before they happen has been fantastic. And that's not an area where I have a lot of experience in the past. This was very much a new thing for me, and I found a lot of success doing it. So one of the questions I'm asking myself now is my preferred niche really my preferred niche? I've been focusing so much on, stocks priced between $3 and $10 that I haven't really given myself the chance to discover whether or not I'm good at other things. So the answer that I'd like to have is, am I actually better at something else? Is this really what I'm good at? And an extension of that question is also, how good am I at the things that I know I'm good at already? And so what I've done here in this window, in this tab on my trade log, is I've isolated all the trades that I took in my simulator, not counting my practice trades, where I took part in a halt resumption play or some sort of trade that was associated with a halt in some way. And what you'll see is that my accuracy is way higher than it was overall. So this is just my halt trades. And then I'll switch back to all my trades where my accuracy is 62.7%. And then going back to the halt trades, it's 87.5. And that's a significant difference. And if we look at the total P&Ls as well, I mean, I'm up $1,683 on just halt trades. And as we go back to the 2019, we can see that that represents nearly 50% of all the profit I've made in this account. So another question that I'm asking myself, which is tied into the last one, is, well, maybe I should just stick with what I'm good at. This is a setup where I'm kicking ass. And if I'm getting this kind of accuracy on halt plays, why am I even paying attention to anything which is not halted? Now, every time I try to keep going with these segments, I keep getting off topic and it turns out to be too long. So what I'm going to say here is basically I have a lot of questions that have come out of this account, more than I have had answers. I find myself wondering, is it better for me to not trade all year? Maybe I should only wait for the hotter times and then really get aggressive during those times and then do something else for the rest of the year. Because I do have, even though I do work for myself and I have a lot of freedom, I have a really time-consuming career. And there are a lot of projects that I can do in some seasons which I cannot do in other seasons. So I feel that there's a chance that, maybe I should just be operating a simulator on the dead times and then have a live account open on the hot times. And that way I could spend, only maybe 2 hours a day trading, but I could avoid all of the losers and still be learning while also capitalizing on what I'm best at. And, there are a lot of other questions too. One of the factors of me not going live right away is my personal situation, which is hugely important. And it's something I haven't talked in depth about in the past. But the fact of the matter is, the stress levels are really high to me right now. And most notable is my housing situation. I'm extremely uncomfortable. I do not like my housing situation whatsoever. I hate the place I live in. And even though the housing market altogether where I live is really horrible, I do have enough connections to improve that. And I could make a few deals to possibly, boost that into a more comfortable situation. In order to do that, however, I will have to take a lot of risk, monetary risk, and I will have to give up a lot of, the businesses that pay my bills right now in order to free up the capital needed to get a better housing situation. So for me, it's really like I have to go to the drawing board and I have to spend some time working out theories and thinking about what the future might hold, how I'm going to react to certain things, and coming up with a business plan before I really go 100% into trading. Now, a few of the points that I just mentioned are, some things that you might not be able to relate to as a viewer. Me working for myself, that's a pretty rare situation. Having the freedom that I do, that's a pretty rare situation. The housing trouble, maybe you don't have that, and maybe that's a positive thing for you. But I think if you're going to take anything away from this video, it should be the fact that I'm not happy with these results. And there's a lot of information there. There's a lot to be learned in the fact that I'm not happy. And I think that is a winning attitude big time. I think a lot of people, they would look at these results and they would think to themselves, okay, I'm ready to, make a stab at this. And then they'd, get hit with a rude awakening that is reality, and they would get discouraged and they might blow their account up and then never go back. And so they would have tarnished the alternate timeline of them going pro and trading by overvaluing their results in a simulator and not paying close enough attention to the finer points. And, I've been studying these results for a week. I've been rewatching all my recaps, reading my written notes, doing the whole bit. And that's still not really necessarily enough. And that's pretty much the point I want to drive home here with this video, is that you really have to be careful about how you analyze yourself and be harder on yourself than easier. If there's, a fork in the road where you can either consider yourself no good or you consider yourself good, I feel like you should go towards the no good side every single time and, work on things until you're the best of the best at them. And right now, I feel like I'm just not the best of the best at them. This is something for me, like I said in the beginning, I never want to go back. I never ever want to have to reload. This is the pivotal moment in time for me where I'm either going to get involved in trading by being the trader, or I'm going to get involved in trading by investing in others. And this is the account that I'm going to use to decide this. And because these results are insufficient to me, and because I'm not altogether convinced about their validity, I'm going to have to do this again. And that verdict, I think, is one that a lot of people wouldn't make, and I believe that it's one that would lead to their ultimate failure. So, anyway, I'm going to be cutting this off right here. I hope it was helpful at least a little bit. I didn't really get as far into some topics that I really wanted to in order to keep the runtime a little shorter. So if ever you want more information about any of the things I've discussed here, or you have, your own personal situation that you want help with, guys, by all means, send me a comment in YouTube or get me on Discord or whatever. Ask me for my email address. I don't care. I'm here to help. I'm here to, help develop new traders. I don't care if it's going to be me or somebody else. I'm getting involved in this business one way or another, and this is what this channel is about. So don't be shy to share your story, and don't be shy to ask me any question you like about what it is I'm doing. So until next time, guys, this is Alex saying happy trading.